Very good.
So President Trump, as you know, farmers and ranchers in general are very supportive of
Yes.
you and your campaign.
Yes.
They are delighted about the actions that you've taken on regulatory reform and on tax reform. They're very anxious, however, on trade, especially NAFTA.
Right, I agree. I
Do
understand.
you really plan to withdraw from NAFTA?
Well, I'm negotiating tough for the farmers. I mean, if you think I'm doing it not for myself, I'm doing it because the farmers have not been treated well. Look at your prices over the last 4 years. It's, you know, they go down. Mexico's made $71 billion a year in trade deficits with us. Canada's $17 billion, that's a lot. So we're negotiating with Mexico and Canada right now on NAFTA, and hopefully we can negotiate something that's going to be great for the farmer. The farmer is very important to me. You know, if you look at the rules and regulations that I've gotten rid of, those regulations were a disaster, especially the Water Act, where it was prohibitive. It was taking the land away from farmers and from builders and from everybody else. You see what we've done, and, you know, a very big one is the death tax. We got rid of the death tax for most farmers, and so they could pass their farm on to their family. They love their family, but their family had such a big tax to pay they couldn't take the farm. They'd have to mortgage it and they'd lose it. So we got rid of that. So we've done a lot, and we have other things to do. We're working very hard on broadband, but we are negotiating with NAFTA, trying to make a much better deal for the farmer.
Well, we know you are still in the middle of that negotiation, and your
yes.
team is doing a fantastic job, but are we prepared with a plan B in case that part of the market, the 19, 20, almost 30% for some commodities that's exported, how would we compensate farmers in the loss?
Well, remember that it can't get too much worse than when I took over, because when I took over, you know, you look at the steep decline in prices, and that shouldn't be happening to our farmers, because these are great people. These are great people. And we're trying to make it so the farmer can do better, and at the same time make it somewhat fair for our country, because our country is losing so much. As I say, 71 billion with Mexico, we have a deficit, which is hard to believe. People don't even understand that kind of a number.
Right.
But no, I think it's going to come out very well for the farmers. That's what I'm doing.
Great. One more trade question, and that is that there was an expectation that perhaps there would be some bilateral trade deals, especially with Japan, which is such a huge market for our farmers and ranchers. What kind of summary would you give our audience here about what's happening in terms of bilaterals, especially with Japan?
Well, Sarah, we're actually doing that. We've already started with Japan. With China, we've opened it up to beef. You probably know all about that. Beef hadn't been sold since the year, I think, 2000. It was ended with China. I came in, I was with President Xi. I said, listen, you got to do me a favor. You got to open it up to beef, and he agreed to it. Also finance and other things, but in terms of the area, we have a very big beef market now with China, which we didn't have at all before I got here and when I got here. So we're going to be opening it up, and I like buys better than when you have, you know, 20 countries in one, and then you can't really. The problem with doing the 20 and 22 and 25 and 28, you know, you hear all about these deals. You can't get out of them if somebody mistreats you. You're sort of as good as the worst country the way they treat you. So I like that. I like the buys, and we're going to have that with Japan, and we're going to have that with many other places. And you're starting to see the results, but one of the early results is really China with the beef.
Okay. A couple of Farm Bill questions for you. Senator Roberts from Kansas has already shared his deep love of crop insurance and the importance of the safety net for farmers. Your first budget proposed about $30 billion in cuts for crop insurance. Will we be expecting more of the same in your next budget, or how should farmers view you?
Yeah, we're going to. I'm in favor of the crop insurance, which is the big question, and Senator Roberts is terrific. Pat has been pushing very hard for it, and I agree with it. So we're going for crop insurance.
And I know you're supportive of getting the Farm Bill done on a timely basis. How important is it for you to have that done before the midterm?
I'd like to have that done. We need support from the Democrats, as you know, but I'd like to have that done, and I think we're going to get it done.
And just one last question, if I may, on immigration. As you know, farmers are having a tough time, both in the fields and in the barns, getting a legal workforce in order to harvest their crops and the livestock. So what actions do you plan to take that can actually help ease that pain and make sure that there's a reliable workforce for
So we're going to be very, very tough at the border, as you know. We have to be. But when you have people that come in that have been working in Tennessee, working for farms, whether it's Tennessee or anyplace else, but working on the farms for many, many years, and all of a sudden the border's closed, that's not going to happen. We're letting those people come through. They're going to come through from a standpoint of being documented properly documented. But we are very cognizant of the fact that we're not going to be taking your workers away. Can't do it. We're going to be very strong on having no drugs coming through. No, we're looking at all the bad things that do happen. But we are very, very strong on the fact that you have farm workers that have worked here for years, and they're going to be coming through.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Is there any one thing that you think would be most important for farmers to take home from your speech?
I think just keep your optimism up. We're really working hard for the farmer. If you, again, look at the rules and regulations, you look at what we've done, it's people are so happy, and farmers have contacted us. I have many farmers coming to the White House. They can't believe, whether it's the Water Act, whether it's so many other things, whether it's the estate tax. We have you very much in mind. We're going to make it better. We'd like to see those prices go up so that you can do a little bit better, because they've really been moving down rapidly over the last 4 years.
That's right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You take care of yourself. Thanks, Sarah. Take care.